Alright guys, look, this is part 2 on living in Cabbage Town. When I first went to school, I went to C.D. Hubert. It's right on the outside of Cabbage Town. But my troubles didn't start till I started going to Martin Luther King Middle School. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start telling y'all more about Cabbage Town. Like I said in my last story, we would always go to Cabbage Town Park and play baseball, football. Well, then there was times when we was fighting all the time and stuff that people from under the bridge over there, little 5 points, would come over there. We would all fight, and we would beat them boys up, man. Beat them boys up from over there all the time. See, we had Cabbage Town. Also, we had Reynolds Town right next to us. Them boys, this was an all-black neighborhood. They would come over there and play baseball with us and help us and stuff. And when we fight, sometimes they would fight with us. Sometimes we'd fight against them. Most time we was fighting them boys over there, little 5 points. Then I would see all my friends selling dope. Back then, when I was a little bit younger, I wasn't selling dope. But then I started selling dope. You know, I wanted to make the money like they was. They was wearing all these brand new clothes, brand new shoes. I wanted the same thing. So I got on the thing. I started selling dope. I had my child. I started selling dope. That was back in the 90s for me. I was selling I ain't gonna say the real word, well, y'all know, the rock. And then I was standing on the street corner selling it like everybody else. You know, they had a thing back in the day when I was growing up, man. When I was talking about people getting their head busted and all that in my last video, that's because we had these clay bricks and all over the streets, and we'd pick them bricks up, throw them at people, chunk them, and I've seen people get chunks took out of their head and stuff. You know, I really never did none of that. Now, I did fight with the boys and all that, but I was scared I was going to kill somebody, so I ain't throw no bricks at nobody. And when we fought, a lot of times, we fought all together. You know, a lot of times it wasn't no one-on-one, and you wouldn't just walk through Cabbage Town if we didn't know you. If you did, you know, you looked slick or something, somebody done went over there, snuck on you, pop, knocked you out. So it wasn't too many strangers walk through Cabbage Town. Now, we did have 2 black guys when I was growing up living in Cabbage Town. One of them name was Gene, and one of them was name was Pete. Cool's a fan. They was junkies, man. They was on that crack. And they would go around stealing stuff, but anyway, and bring it all back to us. You know, that's what happened. You know, people would go to other neighborhoods. They wouldn't steal from Cabbage Town. They would go to other neighborhoods and steal stuff, sell it and all that, and come back and buy from us. And thinking about what I'm talking about junkies is, let me tell you what happened one time. One of my friends thought it'd be funny, and they told one of them junkies, said, we'll give you one of these $5 pieces if you sat there and pour this lighter fluid on your feet and light it up. And he was a fiender. He's like, okay, and he did it, man. That man set on fire, man. We put him out, but we had to call the ambulance and all that to him. That man did all that for that $5 piece. I mean, over the years, though, man, it made me become street smart. I got street smarts. Does anybody know what that is? I don't got book smarts. I got street smarts. But I ain't dumb now. But then later on in the 90s, then they come out with that I don't want to say ice. Then people started blowing up on that. And then you had these people called the Red Dog. It was 5 polices. One of them was a Chinese. Fast as crap. And when I tell y'all, them Red Dogs, they would police us, man, but they didn't do like regular police do. Them Red Dogs, if they catch you, they gonna beat you up. And that Chinese man, you try to run from him, man, he gonna catch you. He was real fast. But them Red Dogs was really, really bad people, man. They get you in a heartbeat. Let me tell you what happened to me now. I stopped doing all the stuff because I had my child. But I was standing inside my fence, and one of my homeboys, the Red Dogs, had them sitting on the curb with handcuffs on them. Then slapped one of my homeboys. Well, me, I had my child in my hand. I ain't thinking nothing about it. I'm inside my fence at the time. And I told one of them Red Dogs, man, that ain't right, man. Y'all can't do that. That man, do you believe that Red Dog? That man come over there, wow, slapped the crap out of me as hard as he could in the face with my kid in my hand. And, I mean, I ain't do nothing about it. I mean, back in the day, you didn't have all the cameras and all the rights. Or which you didn't know you had all the rights. They finally shut them old Red Dogs down, though. because they were just doing too much bad stuff. But them Red Dogs didn't play. But then, then the feds started watching everyone selling that stuff on the street corners and all that. They would send people over there to buy stuff from us, and then to be the police the whole time, the feds and all. They was trying to catch a case on everybody they could, because they was trying to shut Cabbagetown down, because you had new people moving in thinking, oh man, this is a bad neighborhood, everybody's selling drugs. But let me tell you another story on, another part of the story, that I seen a guy at the store one day at Tig's store that lived across the street from Tig's store, where we was selling dope on the corner. And this was after they shut everybody down and ran all of us off out of Cabbagetown. He said ever since we got ran off, he said his house done got broke into like 5 or 6 times. He was like, I wish y'all boys was back here. And actually, he was total honest. He said he was one of the guys who used to call the police on us when we was out there selling drugs on the street. But he was telling me, man, he said his house never got broke into when we were around. Never. When he first moved over there, he said his house never got broke into. Because, we didn't want no police over there. We was, doing dirt. We was selling drugs and stuff like that. So we didn't want no police around. But they did. The feds finally made a case on a lot of different people, but it didn't go feds. It went state. And everybody got like 5 years, 10 years. And then they made everybody move out of Cabbagetown. The younger, people like us, move all out of Cabbagetown. So if you hear this story and you hear about Cabbagetown, Cabbagetown ain't the same no more. I'm talking about the old Cabbagetown. And a lot of us moved like to Forest Park, Stockbridge, out towards Morrow. Yeah, we moved everywhere. But anyway, like I said, if you really look it up, man, back in the day, they don't got much stories on it. They got a little bit. All my people knows all the stories. And got a few stories and a few recordings and all that. But Cabbagetown was the only white ghetto in Atlanta, Georgia. And the people that ain't dead now, right now in my time, they doing better. Everybody's doing better. They grew up. They got away from all that stuff. I've got away from it. I had to go to prison for a little while for it, but I went to the feds too. And the crazy thing is, I was right by Cabbagetown. I was right there in the federal prison in Atlanta, the big prison. I was there for 7 years. Me and this old boy named Andy, Homer, a boy named Champ. Now that's some of the boys from Cabbagetown. Now we had other people from Reynoldstown over there. Didn't have many, but we had a few. But pretty much these days, everybody done split up. Cabbagetown ain't the same no more. Well, that's just a piece of my story, y'all. Listen, I can tell y'all things I can think back that happened over the times and break it down. Man, you would be like, oh man, that's crazy. But people that ain't died off, we're doing a lot better. And this was about Cabbagetown. Thank you.